Darian Voss woke to the soft hum of unfamiliar machinery and the smell of something like ozone and lavender. His ribs ached with the particular fire of bones that had been broken and then expertly, rapidly mended. The ceiling above him pulsed with a faint bioluminescent blue, and for a long moment he simply lay there, cataloguing the absence of pain that should have been there. The last thing he remembered was the transport shuttle's hull buckling under a meteor swarm nobody on the star charts had flagged. Then darkness. Then nothing. Then this. "You are awake." The voice came from his left, melodic in a way that didn't quite match any human language pattern, syllables sliding into each other like water over stone. "Your vitals stabilized 4 hours ago. I was beginning to think I would have to resort to more invasive monitoring." Darian turned his head and found himself looking at what he could only describe as a small miracle of biology. The nurse, her uniform, a deep violet wrap that shimmered faintly when she moved, identified her as medical staff, had skin the color of moonlit pearl, faintly iridescent, and eyes that were a luminous gold without visible pupils. 2 slim antennae curved back from her temples like a crown of silver wire, twitching slightly as she studied him. "Where am I?" he managed, voice raw. "Medical Bay 7, Valkyrie Outpost Station. You were recovered from your shuttle's escape pod by our patrol vessel." She moved closer, running some kind of scanning wand over his torso without touching him. The device chimed softly, and she made a small satisfied sound. "My name is Lyra Veyra. I am the medical officer assigned to your care. Darian Voss." He tried to sit up and immediately regretted it, hissing through his teeth. "Do not." Her hand, four-fingered, delicate, faintly cool when it pressed against his shoulder, pushed him back down with surprising firmness. "Your sternum was fractured in 3 places. I have repaired the bone, but the regenerative weave needs another day to fully integrate. You humans heal slowly. It is almost charming." "Almost charming," Darian repeated, allowing himself a weak smile. "High praise." Her antennae twitched again. He would later learn this was the Valkyrie equivalent of a raised eyebrow, and she said nothing, simply continued her examination with the brisk efficiency of someone who had done this 1,000 times before. Over the following days, Darian learned the rhythms of the medical bay the way a man learns the rhythms of a place he doesn't expect to leave anytime soon. The Valkyrie were not, it turned out, a species particularly accustomed to human patients. He was something of a novelty, the first human ever treated at this remote outpost, hauled in from a region of space that, as far as the locals were concerned, belonged to nobody and was visited by no one. Lyra checked on him constantly. More constantly, he began to suspect, than strictly necessary. "Your reflexes are within normal parameters," she announced on the 3rd day, tapping his knee with a small instrument that made his leg jerk obligingly. "Your appetite has returned. Your sense of humor, unfortunately, has also returned." "You wound me," Darian said, clutching his chest theatrically and then immediately regretting it as the motion pulled at his healing ribs. "Oh. Okay. Maybe don't make me laugh." "I did not make you laugh. You made yourself laugh at your own joke, which was not very good." But there was something in the cadence of her voice, a lilt, a warmth, that suggested she was teasing him back. He found himself looking forward to her visits more than he probably should have. There was something steadying about her presence, about the careful, exacting way she moved through the world, cataloging and measuring and mending. She asked him questions about Earth, about oceans, about seasons, about the strange human habit of keeping small domesticated predators as companions, and he found himself talking more than he had in years, filling the long hours of bed rest with stories about a planet she would likely never see. "You speak of your homeworld as though it is very far away," she observed one evening, dimming the bioluminescent lights to their nighttime setting. "It is very far away," Darian said. "I was supposed to be 3 jumps closer to it when the meteor swarm hit. Now I don't even know how I'm getting back." Something flickered across her face, gone too fast for him to name it. "The Outpost Council is still determining transport logistics for stranded travelers." It may take time. How much time? I do not know. A pause. I find that I am not in a hurry to find out. Darian looked at her for a long moment, and something in his chest, something that had nothing to do with fractured bone, shifted. On the 7th day, the regenerative weave finished its work, and Lyra cleared him for light mobility. She walked him through the medical bay's corridor, one cool hand hovering near his elbow in case his legs, still unsteady, gave out. There, she said, as they reached the observation window at the corridor's end. Beyond the reinforced glass, a field of stars wheeled slowly past, the outpost's rotation giving the illusion of a galaxy in motion. I thought you should see something other than the ceiling of my medical bay. It's beautiful, Darian said, and meant it. He glanced sideways at her, at the way the starlight caught the iridescence of her skin and made it glow faintly silver. Almost as beautiful as my nurse. He said it as a joke. A small, throwaway thing, the kind of line he might have used on a bartender back home, expecting nothing more than an eye roll in return. Lyra went very still. Her antennae, which had been gently swaying, snapped rigid. The gold of her eyes seemed to deepen, to darken, like a sky before a storm. You should not say such things lightly, she said, and her voice had lost its teasing lilt entirely. Sorry, I didn't mean, Darian stammered, suddenly unsure of the ground beneath him. It was just a joke. Among my people, Lyra said slowly, each word measured like a careful incision, the words Belsha Taruna, beautiful as the one who heals, are not idle flattery. They are the beginning of a courtship rite. Spoken between a healer and the one they have tended, they are understood as an offer. Darian's mouth went dry. An offer of what, exactly? Of bonding. Her gaze didn't waver from his. When a Valkyrie healer mends a wound that would have killed, and the patient speaks those words in return, it is taken as consent. A bond is formed. It does not undo easily. Some say it does not undo at all. He stared at her, his pulse, already recovering from a fractured sternum, kicking up an entirely new kind of irregular rhythm. I had no idea. I really was just joking. I know. Something softened in her expression, the storm in her eyes settling into something gentler, more uncertain. I could see that you did not know our customs. I am not upset, Darian Voss. I am only telling you, because I think you should understand what almost happened. Darian was quiet for a moment, looking out at the slow wheel of unfamiliar stars, the strange galaxy that had somehow delivered him, broken and frightened, into the hands of this small, exacting, golden-eyed woman who had put him back together with more care than the job required. Then he turned to her, and something reckless and warm rose up in his chest, the same impulse that had once made him take a job 3 jumps from home, that had always pushed him toward the unknown instead of away from it. What if, he said carefully, I wasn't joking? Lyra's antennae quivered. Darian. I suppose that means we're bonded, he said, soft, deliberate this time, watching her face for every flicker of reaction. Belsha Taruna. You're beautiful as the one who healed me. That's not a joke. That's just true. For a long moment, she said nothing at all. The stars wheeled silently beyond the glass. Then she stepped closer, until the cool warmth of her presence was all he could feel, and murmured, so quietly it was almost lost beneath the hum of the station around them. Then you're mine forever, Darian Voss. And I will spend every one of your slow, fragile, human years making certain you never once regret it. Outside, the stars kept turning, indifferent to the small miracle unfolding in a quiet corridor of Valkyrie Outpost Station, a human, far from home and unafraid of it, and an alien healer who had, against every careful instinct of her exacting profession, let herself fall.